Like 3 weeks ago, I entered one of the most beautiful bookstores, I think in the world, happens to be in Buenos Aires. It's called Ateneo Gran Splendid in Avenida Santa Fe. Thousands of books. And sometimes you look for a book, and sometimes the book looks for you. And here I have, I'm sure you heard about Yuval Harari, yes? A genius, yes? Okay, by now he understood that we adults are messed up. So he started to write for kids. All the chokhmah that he wrote for adults is now written in very easy language. So if you're not a big reader, buy the books for kids. And in 20 minutes you understood his thesis, which I think is worth it. So in one of his last books, he says, since I was a kid, I was extremely concerned, especially about the issue of war. I live in Israel, I live in the Middle East, there is constantly war. And as a kid, I wanted to know why there are so many wars in the world. And many people told me that humans fight for the same reasons that other animals fight. It's just natural. You fight over territory, you fight over food, the same way that chimpanzees and wolves and lions fight, people fight. And he said, it took me many years of researching history to understand that this is just not true. Humans don't fight over territory and food, they fight over imaginary stories in their minds. If I look at the present terrible conflict tearing apart my region, he says, it's not really about territory, not objectively. There is enough land between the Mediterranean and the Jordan River to build houses and schools and hospitals for everybody. There is no objective shortage of land, and similarly, there is no objective shortage of food. There is enough food to feed everybody, and this is true of other conflicts too. And he says, look at the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Russia doesn't need territory. The last thing they need is more land. So what are they fighting? People fight over stories in their mind. And he goes on and explains examples in Jerusalem. When we look at Jerusalem, we see 3,000-year-old civilization. Other religions sees their own stories there. I like Harari's explanation. I'm not stupid. I know that every civilization tells stories about themselves. And for every civilization, this story is holy. Let me give you an example that I always explain our bar mitzvah kids. When they stay in front of the Torah, I say to them, you're not only staying in front of a holy book, those are the dreams and the fights and the challenges of 3,000 years of Jewish civilization. Other people can come to the Torah and see just parchment and ink. Well, I'll give them another example. For Christians, the cross is a message of hope and love and redemption and future. And somebody can come and say, no, that's just a geometrical symbol. Really? Really? That's what it's all about? So everybody has stories we tell about ourselves. My problem is not that everybody has a story. My problem is when you believe that only your story matters. When you want to impose your story to me. Let me quote from tomorrow's Parsha of the week. Re anochi noten lifnechem hayom bracha uklala. This day I set before you blessing and curse. Chaim umavet, life and death, ubacharta b'chaim. And you should choose life. Remember, when the Torah says something, is because not everybody agree that life was holy. We already know that people used to offer their own kids to their deity. So when they say choose life, is because they saw that people will do everything to kill and even will send their kids to be killed. In the vast diversity of human experience, each of us is entitled to our own truth, or our own perspective and our own ideas. We are shaped by different stories, traditions, and circumstances, and that is part of the beauty of our world. However, with this freedom of thought comes a sacred responsibility, as long as our truth and ideas lead us towards a culture of life. As long as they inspire us to choose blessing over curse, they're worthy of being heard and honored. It's not so obvious. That's why the Torah teaches us, I have set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Choose life so that you and your descendants may live. This is not only a commandment, but a guiding principle. In every debate, every disagreement, every challenge, we must ask ourselves, does this path lead us to life? Does this choice affirm the sanctity of life, the pursuit of peace, and the hope for a better future? I don't think that the dispute in Israel is about territory or about food. It's about people who believe that life comes first, and people who don't cherish their own lives and their own children's life. It will take mucho tiempo, a lot of generations, to change that mindset. Between now and then, let us pray and hope that all the hostages who are still alive may come soon to the place where they belong, to their homes. May we continue to be the people that cherish every life, our lives and our enemies' children's life. Like Golda Meir once said, I may forgive you when you kill my kid. I will never forgive you for being able to kill yours. Shabbat shalom.